Hey guys, it's Dark Siege. It's been about 7+ days, I think, since I had Pass 7 and Kingsland. And so I tried a few different combinations. I'm going to tell you what combinations I did. I'm going to go over some battle reports. Hopefully, I get some video in there. And then I'll tell you what I think works best, at least for me right now. All right, here's my plug. All right, I'm going to hit you with some old school. From dusk till dawn. Can you picture Selma Hayek walking out on that stage? If you can, and you have a big old smile, then like and subscribe. Okay, I'm going to go through the gear and the armaments I was wearing on the better pair, because I would mix it up. This was the better of the two pair, right? You can see that I have the weapon crit, and so do I have the pants. And then these armaments really turned out to be really good. Here's the second gear, and this is just plain Jane gear, nothing crazy. And then these were the armaments. Okay, so here's the three different combos I tried out between Pass 7 and Kingsland, and then I really landed on one of these just because I thought it offered the best total DPS. So I want to mention that I was running stratagems, and rousing drums is important because I'm taking less defense or taking less damage. And I think that's important to note when you're looking at these numbers, not to get too crazy with the awesomeness. There's the stratagems going on, and then I got the other one that gives it to 8 seconds that I'm taking 15% less damage. This is important because I run Margaret with Catherine, and I specifically run Catherine because she's offering buffs to people. So I have two sets of buff popping out there, one from the stratagems and then from this. All right, we're jumping right in. Here is Pass 7, and we're through the pass, and we keep getting attacked on all three sides. And so you have this in the background while I talk about the battle reports and the pairings I used with Afonso and everybody else, and which ones I thought were the best. So let's go through the reports. I'm going to pause a second. You can see who it is. And then I did all the math, right? In green in the top there, this one says 6.0, and you see 752 to 125. So we'll just kind of go through and you can get a sense of how they did. This is when Alfonso and Bobber had the better gear, right? 3.1 to 288. And that's at like an 11 ratio. I mean, straight killing it. And then 2.3 to 288 or 228. That's a 10. 980 to 174. 5.61. Now I'm telling you, I've looked at a lot of these numbers. This is unusual. This probably was the very beginning, and I had a good run, right? Didn't get touched. But as you go on, typically this pair is in the 2.2 range, right? Stephen and John, 536 to 153 for basically a 3.5 ratio. The best pair out there, the ratio of 5.34, and the kill points is 945 to 177. And then you have Afonso with Bobber at 4.88 ratio. 609 to 124, right? Then you have Steven and John at 3.49. It's, Steven's running with the skill tree, 536 to 153. And then this is more accurate, you see from the girls here, 2.44 ratio at 206,000 to 84,000. 504 ratio for the big guy. 3.28 ratio and 511. Now, I want to point out, you got I went back one. You have 830 kill points, and the next one is 805 kill points. The reason why these ones are so close, I don't want you to get confused thinking that these pairs are equal. It's the gear and the armaments, because I was about to come out and do a video like, oh my god, these guys, look at these pairs, right? They're so even. But then when I switched the gear, then Steven and John slay it, and you can see Afonso and Barbara fall off a little bit. So, yeah, I just want to point that out. But now, if you do the gear right, as far as to get them even, there's a way to do that with your gear and armaments. Okay, next one is 235 for the girls, right? Like I said, that's more like where they stood. Here, something to notice, and these are sets of 3 if I don't have Margaret, other sets of 4. The numbers will be around the same, right? Because I'm taking snapshots at roughly the same time. 3.25, 380, and 5.56, right? And then 237. And then the next set will be another battle, right? 5.94, 420, and then 2.23, and then 3.32. What was the other one again? 420, 3.32. Okay. Again, you can see here I'm doing different combos to mix it up. That's John and Bobber. I'm kind of, as much as I want to love John, I have come to a realization he is on the lower end of being a good commander. Sad. I wanted it to work so bad. Okay, the girls are at... Okay, so this is when I think I sat down and I got the shit kicked out of me immediately. So this is good, right? It shows you a different aspect of the game. 0.5. Actually very respectable. And then you got John and Bobber at 0.71. And then Steven and Alfonso at 0.46. And then the big boys is still 0.91. They still pump out a million kill points. Like, I love these guys. The next set of battle, you have Afonso and Bobber, 6.14 ratio, almost a million to 155. Then you have 2.1 to 260,000 at 8.15. And then 6.87, so 1.25 to 184, 185. Let's go back to, so you get 6.87 to 6.14. So that's pretty close, right? You get 1.25, not even a million, right? Or just close to a million. So you can see how they're kind of close, but like this one pops out. Steven and John pop out just a little bit more. And this is when I think Alfonso has the better gear. So that's telling you something. All right. So 5.46, 8.01. I mean, you're getting, 3.8 million to almost, 500,000. And then 6.44. 2.2. You can see how 1.2, 2.2, 1.3. 2.2. Like, even when the gear is there, they're pumping out, like, the ratio is less. Kill points, like, dude, Steven and John are a very powerful pair. All right, so this is another time when I got hit, 1.18. This one is 8.14, so I guess I didn't get everybody on that one. This one is 5.54. 6.26. You can see the numbers, kill points, 1.5 to 1. And then here's another battle 2.08. This one, obviously not the best in the world. This one is 1.46, 0.93, and 1.0. So again, I'm going to go through those 4 again. 2.80 tops, 1.46, 93, and 1.06. So on short battles, I want to say this might have been the cheeseburgering ones that Afonso and Bauer do pretty strong on cheeseburgering, right? Because they can hit their full power pretty quick, and it takes a little longer for the other ones to get up there with their change in stats, especially for Steven to get the transition of numbers. Here's the pairs that I went out with, like we talked about, and there's option 1, 2, and 3. And for me, going out there and running around, the middle pair was the one I felt did the best for me. With that being said, this means I'm not running Margaret. If you want to run Margaret, there's a way to do it, and you'd be totally fine. But if you drop Margaret or you want to pair Margaret with somebody else, so be it. But this is the primary three that I go out with, and that's through trial and error and a feel. And my feel might be off, but right now, this is what it is. I'm using Gajamata with Gonzo, Steven with John, and then Afonso with Bobber. And in that order, where I feel Gajamata's crew is the best, Steven is cool with being the second, and then Afonso's the third. Now, I do think that Steven paired with Bobber is probably a better pair, but then I think John and Afonso aren't the best, right? Like, you're losing. So the combination of these three, I think, gives me the most DPS. And I talk about this concept in my pairing video that will come out. I know I've been promising it for at least a week and a half to 2 weeks, but I wanted to go through this and do some battles before I put it out, so I felt comfortable in what I'm saying. Okay, so hopefully that pairs video comes out soon. All right, guys, Range rocks. See you guys. Bye.